Hi guys, so today is another interactive session, and I'm just making sure that it's working. Yeah, so I've been away for some number of days. So if you're joining us, you are welcome to join us. You're welcome to join us as we discuss the USMLE. If you have any questions, you are free to ask. You all know me already. Name is Jerry. You're welcome to the USMLE Booster channel. So this is our interactive session that we are doing to answer all questions, motivate people, and teach as well. So if you have any questions that you would love to ask, you go ahead and ask about step 1, step 2. I'm a recent grad. And then I sat for the USMLE step 1, step 2. Hi, you're welcome to join. So if you have any questions, you can ask. May I know where you are joining from? If you can put in the comments, just to let us know where you're joining us from. May we know where you're joining from, and then you can put in the comment box. You're welcome to join us live as we discuss the USMLE step 1, step 2. Any information that you need, you can get from here. Sudan. So you're joining us from Sudan. You're welcome to join us. You're welcome to join us as we discuss the USMLE. And then if you want to join the live discussion also, it's allowed. I can put a link over there. And anyone who wants to join the live discussion can join us. And then you share your views and your thoughts with us. Any questions that you have, we can discuss them live here. Yeah, you can join the link. If you want to join us, you can join with this link. Hi. Hey, everybody. Yeah, I am good. Pato, Mito. Yeah, I'm good. How are you? Ashish, Bansal. Hello. Hello. You are welcome to join. And from Sudan, we have Aladdin. If I'm not getting your name right, I'm sorry, but I know you know I'm trying. Yeah, I'm trying. So, who wants to join us? Add to the stream. Let's see. Hi, Ashish.
Hello.
You, you are live. You are live here on the USMA Booster channel interactive session. If you have any concerns about your prep for step 1, step 2, you're welcome to talk about it.
Yes, I have one query. I'm preparing for USMLE Step 1.
Okay.
Uh, what is the best source for studying pharmacology?
Yes. So pharmacology, to answer you straight away, it depends on if your basics are good versus if they are not good, or versus, like, it depends on the level of basics that you have. um so basically, I did pharmacology from the first aid. That is where I did most of my pharmacology from. And most people use sketching farm, and a lot of people have attested that that is good. But I used first aid, the step 1 first aid book. This is what I used basically for my farm. But it depends on how you also approach it. I studied farm by approaching it system wise, so that if I'm studying a system, I make sure I understand the farm of that system at the when I'm getting to the end of it, so that I group all the drugs according to classes. And if you do that, to really help you, you want to form a mnemonic for each of the classes, so that if you are looking at, let's say, antidepressants, and then you come to SSRIs, you have to know that under antidepressants we have different types, right? We have the SSRIs, SNRIs, the TCAs. So you have to group them this way, and under each of them, you have to know the drug types that are under each of the classes, and find your own way to memorize how you want to recognize it. For example, when I was studying, are you there?
Yeah, yeah, I'm listening.
Good. For example, when I was studying for psych, and then I came across SSRIs. you know SSRIs, like, they have broad range of uses, right? So I was getting questions wrong on UWorld, like, every now and then about that, but then I had to devise a way so that I stopped getting the questions wrong. So what I did was that I formed a mnemonic for all the uses of SSRI. And I remember that mnemonic was dopa binge. And so any condition that I saw that has a letter in, like dopa binge, right? So depression, like OCD, we can use SSRI. You get it? Like anything that begins with P, a panic attack, a premature ejaculation, like that. And so dopa binge, and then the last one was binge eating disorder. So I made sure that I make a mnemonic where it is difficult, so that I can remember it. So first aid was enough for me. Now, if you are also someone studying and your physio is not very good, then I can say that try to understand the physio of the systems and relate the pharmacology to it, because the pharmacy is helping us to enhance the physio or stop the physio. You understand? Either it is stopping the physiologic activity, or it's enhancing the physiologic activity. So understanding the pharmacology of the system is very important in understanding the pathophysiology of the systems, or the physio of the system, is important in understanding the pharmacy. Did I answer your question?
Yes, yes, very well.
And then you can make a follow-up. Any other question?
Okay. One more thing. How did you manage to do UWorld and first aid simultaneously?
Yeah, right. So you are right. That's a very valid question, and it's we've always been talking about this, because it's hard to be able to combine this U world and first aid at the same time. So first aid is very compact. Like, you cannot just read it and understand everything. Like, maybe 30% of the information you can understand just by reading first aid, but most of the high yield concepts, what I advise people to do is to use the boards and beyond videos to read the first aid. Open the video and open the chapter in first aid. And whilst he's teaching, you are making annotations in the book. I don't know if you can see my book. Whilst he's teaching, you are making annotations. So most of my annotations are from boards and beyond. You understand? So I did not just get up and say I'm reading first aid like people do. And like some people say I read first aid 5 times, 6 times, and all that. I did not even do that a single time. All I was doing was I did it according to systems. So if I'm treating a system, I look at boards and beyond video with that system. Whilst he reads, it's like whilst he discusses the topics, then I'm also looking for that topic in first aid and going according to it. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, but this is for first aid at boards and beyond. Now, one thing we do First aid, we learn first aid concepts by reading it along with the boards and beyonds. Okay, we
Yes.
annotate the things on first aid, and then we go for the U world. After this, after doing first aid and B, we go for the U world. Then you're doing like one block or two block a day. Then how, because the explanation in the U world are also very very long, so you have to like memorize those concepts in U world also. And did how did you manage to, did you refer the first aid what you had annotated after doing the questions from U world, or you directly follow the U world and memorize the explanation in the U world?
Okay. So most of the times, whatever is in the U world is in the first aid most of the time. Like 90% of the time, anything in the U world is on the first is in the first aid as well. So what I did was, just as I was telling you, I make sure that when I wake up a day, let me give you a typical day. When I wake up a day, as soon as I wake up, the first thing I'll do is, let's say, a block of U world for a topic. Let's say I'm doing cardio and I don't understand cardio. I'm now beginning. So I'll do a block of U world for cardio and try to review it. So by midday, I should finish reviewing. Then I take boss and beyond for cardio again. So now you have seen some concepts in the U world that you did not understand. And so when you take boss and beyond, he's going to talk about some of those concepts, and then it will hit you in your mind that, oh, I saw this on U world today and I missed it. So that tells you to take that very serious, because you missed it on U world, you read it, is likely you didn't understand it fully. So bots and beyond is going to teach it, and then you realize that, oh, I met it on U world, so you have to take it serious. Right. Now, as you are doing the boss and beyond, you are doing first aid at the same time. So once you've seen the concept on U world, you are going to look in the first aid for other causes of the thing they're asking about, other predisposing factors. Now, it is up to you to ask yourself, can you remember all these causes or predispositions that they are talking about in the next 3 weeks, in the next 1 month, in the next 6 months? Can you remember them? It's likely the answer will be no. You are not likely to be able to remember, even though you've seen it in the U world, you've seen it in Boss and Beyond and First Aid at the same time. This is where the Anki flashcard comes in. You ask yourself, can I remember this number of things? Because they are asking you about, let's say, causes of heart failure, and you know that you cannot remember all of them, but you can remember at least one or two. That one that they ask on U World, you are likely to remember it. The next time you get a question correct on U World and it's the same question, is because you memorized it. But the exam may not ask that same question. Nbme may not ask that same question. Even if they ask the same question, the answer will be the other causes which are in the first aid. So you want to, when you all tells you, like when you all direct you towards a certain concept, you want to use the first aid to look for other causes of that first aid. Sorry, other causes from the first aid. That does it make sense?
Okay, so simultaneously, that makes you remember the things longer if
Yes,
you do simultaneously.
you have to.
And what should be the strategy for the revision? Because we are going to forget the things.
Yes. So the strategy is, find a way to do Anki flashcards in a condensed form, so that you don't end up having 6,000 flashcards, 10,000 flashcards, and 18 people have like 20,000 flashcards. You don't want that. So if you watch my video on how to make flashcards, you will see that I'm able to make flashcards from the first aid, at the same time flashcards from UWorld. And when I was doing my step one, I think I had about 2,000 flashcards for my whole prep period. And most of the information were they were condensed, they were power packed, in the sense that if you ask me, like, what are the causes of, let's say, COPD, when I open my first aid, I will make sure that I capture the page that talks about the causes of COPD into my Anki flashcard, so that anytime I'm doing the Anki flashcards, I see everything on the cause. Like, I see everything on that page. I hope that makes sense.
Okay, fair enough.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yes. So try to combine all the resources, but find a way for space repetition, which is the Anki flashcard. And make sure you have time in each day, at least 2.5 hours each day for your Anki flashcards. If that's the last thing you will do, if you have to wake up in the middle of the night to do it, at least 2.5 hours for your flashcards every day would help you. It's better than adding new information.
Okay.
Yes, you're welcome. Any other questions? Or and so for those who are just joining us, we are talking about the USMLE step one, step two. I've put a link over there. If you want to join the chat live, you can join. You can click on the link and I'll allow you into, so that we can hear your voice and it will be more interactive. Thank you. Yes, there are some questions here. So Mahala, I'm going to read your question out. It's right here, let me put on the screen. Yeah, it says, would you advise to go through UWorld alongside first aid? No, alongside the first round of first aid. Yes, yes. Never, never read the first aid by itself without doing UWorld with it. You are just going to forget everything. It's been tried and tested, and we forget everything. Even when I read just one chapter of first aid, I forgot everything when I came to UWorld. So you want to do UWorld, and UWorld, like, if you miss questions on UWorld, you are going to see them in first aid and it will stimulate you. But if you just read the first aid without doing questions, then you are going to forget everything. So please try to do UWorld and first aid alongside. From day one of your studies, you want to do UWorld. Let UWorld direct you to what to study. The UWorld is a director, it tells you what to study. And now you use the first aid to find that information, and use Boss and Beyond to read first aid, like that. I hope that answers your question. Let's go to the next one. Oh, thank you. I got your name right. Okay, let's go to the next question. I'm putting on the screen. What would you advise for last week? I have UWorld SA2 and Nbme 11 left. My test is on the 18th. Yes. So for the last week, Emanuela Gomez. Yeah, for the last week. So if your exam is on the 18th, what date is today? Today is on the 6th. So you still have about 12 days, which is like, yeah, which is like 1 week of studies. So if you haven't done ethics from Ambos, you want to do it. So go to Ambos and select ethics, patient safety, and quality improvement, and you will find about 160 to 120 questions. Try to do at least 3 blocks from them, and make sure you take little notes, so that you can review those notes a day before your exams. So you want to pay attention to biases, you want to pay attention to the quality improvement in the hospital, and patient safety. And you'll find some questions on communications and ethics also in there. So select those topics. It's going to be 160 questions. Try to do at least 3 blocks, and that should prep you well for these topics on the exam. It's a supplementary resource that I think really helped me. So you can do that also. Next thing I did for my last week, that was the main thing I did, but I also made sure that if I had any notes that I wrote down of high yield concepts, I want to memorize them. You want to memorize all the conditions and immunodeficiency conditions. You want to memorize them in your final week and make sure you can differentiate each from the other. Your sphingolipidosis, name and pick, and all that. You want to memorize that whole chapter. Glycogen storage diseases, you want to memorize that whole chapter because you are likely, because those are very high yield topics. The page on iron, is it iron synthesis and the diseases? Porphyria, cutaneous, tarda, or yeah, those conditions. You want to memorize these 4 pages that I've talked about because they are very high yield. Cardio, you want to remember your EKGs. Your EKGs are very important. You want to take note of that. Yeah, know how to interpret EKGs. Okay, know how to interpret EKGs, and review some of your X-rays also. Your X-rays, your CT scans, and all those things for some of the systems. And these are the last things that I did in my final weeks. And then yeah, basically this is it. And I also have a video on my channel about my whole process. So I talk about my whole journey for step 2 up to my final week, like when I wasn't doing well, what I did differently, when I my last week also, what I did differently. So if you can watch that also, it will help. I hope I answered your question, Emanuela. And I wish you good luck in your exams. I wish you all the best. Let's see the next question. Do you have any other question? So if you are joining us, we are discussing the USMLE step 1, step 2, any questions that can be helpful to you. I have the link over here. If you want to join the chat live, you can click on the link and I'll allow you in to talk. You can come on video. You can also decide to come on audio. So it's up to you. So the link is right there. I'm going to share it again. I'm going to share the link again. Good. It's right there. So if you want to join us, you can click on it and I'll allow you in. I hope I answered all your questions. Yes. So the test for me, like step 2, I would say it's doable. It's doable. You just need to prep well. Just take your time and prep well. It's doable. Trust your instincts. Like whatever you were getting wrong, don't change your concept. Like if you got something wrong on the UWorld and you know this is why I got it wrong in the exam, use the same principle to answer your questions. Don't eliminate answers that you don't know. Say they give you 4 options and then you know that there's something in the question that negates all 3 answers and you are left with 1 answer, but that answer also you do not know. Just pick it and move forward. It's not everything that you would have met during your prep, but that is why there's a difference between the scores, our scores. People get higher than others because people learn more extensively. So if you know that there's anything in the answer that, anything in the question that tells you that this is not the answer, don't go against your instincts. Just take it out and trust whatever is left. If you are pay attention to your thrombocytopenias. Thrombocytopenia is very important in differentiating many conditions. If you see SLE and there is no thrombocytopenia, don't choose it. There must always be thrombocytopenia. So pay attention to that. They ask a lot of questions about thrombocytopenia in step 2. Another question is here. Let's show this question. Um, how to calculate offline Nbme assessment so I can predict my score. So there are predictors out there. There are predictors online that we used to use. There are predictors out there, and yeah, so there. I don't know, but there is a predictor that I used, and so let me see. Are you doing step 1 or step 2? If you can. Are you doing step 1 or step 2? Let me see. We had this predictor. I'm gonna see if I can get it for you. Nbme offline predictor. Is it? Yes. So I think it's here. I can share the link with you. It's on Reddit as well. I can share the link with you, and sure. Okay, it's right here. I'm going to share the link with you so that you can use it and then check your scores. Okay, let me see. Yeah, it's here. It's on Reddit. So I'm going to put it here in the comment box for you so that you can use that. And yeah, so your next question is, does offline Nbme, is it enough or I must go online? People have different financial situations. So if you're you're in good standing, I would say do online and simulate the exam. Treat the online as though this is your final exam. Your environment should be um, clear of anything, like when you are doing it, like you know how in the exam you are going to write down what you want to remember. Like if it's some quick formula you want to write down, you want to treat your offlines also like that. So start prepping at home, like okay, when I go into the exam, the first 15 minutes I'm going to write down all the formula, I'm going to write down all the classes of drugs, I'm going to write down like just certain things that you want to remember. Treat your onlines also like that. Offlines also treat them the same way. So if you can get the online, it's the best. I always did online, always I did online, and it was helpful. But then you can also do offlines, but try to do some online, at least 2 onlines before your exam. It will help you. We have another question here. Yeah, you said step 1, so we got that. All right. Um, okay. So you meant step 1. We got that. Let's see the next question. Let's see the next question. How to manage USMLE with work. Congratulations for all your content. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, USMLE with work. It's a very genuine question. It's hard. It's not easy, and most people have done it. Some people work full time and they have done it. It's all about getting your schedule right and making sure that when you have time for studies, your studies time is a quality time, in the sense that if I use myself as an example, when I started studying for step 1, I would work like 4 days in a week and I have 3 days left. So that 3 days, I make sure that I make very good use of it. But every day after work, I make sure that I study before I go to sleep. And also, you can also sleep before you sleep, then you wake up and study before you go to work. It's very doable. I feel like the only thing is that it prolongs your duration of studies, in the sense that when I am home every day, I'm likely to use 6 months. But if I start working, then it might prolong to 8 months or 12 months because I'm working. And this studying alone should not take away food from the table. You need to also provide food for yourself and be able to pay your rent. So it's genuine. Just make sure that any other thing that distracts you from studying, you want to limit it. You want to limit too much hanging out, too much things that would take you away from studying. And then it's doable. It's doable. Yeah. So get your schedule right, avoid extra disturbances, and study like quality time. Spend quality time studying, and that would help. I hope I answered your question. You can send a follow up if you didn't get me, or if I didn't answer it right. Okay. And if anybody has any suggestion, also you can share with us. So I have a link there that if you want to join live, you can join and speak to us live. Okay, you can join and speak to us live. Original Gangster. Do you want to join us live? The link is right there. I can share it with you, and then we can hear your voices. Okay, the link is there. You click on the link and I'll allow you in. Yes, go ahead, click on the link and I'll allow you in to speak. Ask any questions at all regarding USMLE step one, step two. So if you're just joining us, I'm glad to have you on board, and I'll be grateful if you can let us know where you are joining us from. I want to know how far our voices are reaching. And so let us know in the comment box. We have some people from Sudan, the US, and I think Europe. So, yes, if you want to join us live, you can join us with the link that I sent. Click on the link. Let's answer the next question. Is it okay to read FA fast and superficially in the first read for time's sake? I discourage that. Original Gangster. I discourage that from Egypt. Yes, Egypt. I want to come to Egypt again. Okay, so I discourage that. What do you mean by superficially? Anytime you are reading, you want to grasp some information. If you go rapidly through first aid, you are likely to forget. If you are reading first aid, you want to pay attention to high yield concepts, make annotations. So I typically advise people start UWorld from day one. Start UWorld in addition to first aid and boss and beyond from day one. It's hard to only read the first aid book and remember everything. It's hard. So you want to use UWorld, and anytime you get a question wrong from UWorld and you read the answers from first aid, or you read the concept from first aid, it's likely to stick, because the human brain is designed to learn from pain, from like situations that we learn lessons from. So like if if you feel sad for missing a question, then you are likely not to miss it again. You understand? So start doing questions from day one instead of reading instead of reading the first aid passively for the first read. It might take you about, I don't know if you say passively how long it's going to take you. It might take you about over 1 month to finish reading it, even passively, and you will forget everything. Nothing is going to imprint in your mind, because the way the book is, it's done in such a way that the information is so compact, and you need someone to, you need resources to decode it. So you will help you decode it, and Boss and Beyond will help you decode it. So that's my advice for you. I hope I answered your question. If I didn't, you can make a follow up. Original Gangster, I like your name. Yes, I hope I answered your questions. So, anyone has any other question? If you are just joining us, we are discussing the USMLE step one, step two, and I have more videos on my channel. You want to check it out. You want to subscribe so that they can be suggested to you. Once you subscribe, my videos will be suggested to you. So you want to subscribe and check out some of the videos, very great contents that have helped a lot of people. And yeah, some people tell me to continue this video, because initially when I started this, it was from the concept that people were, after I got my step one back, there were a lot of people asking me about, excuse me, I need to plug in my charger so that we don't lose this content. Good. So yeah, I had a lot of questions and I decided to put them on YouTube, so that if anybody has any other questions like what that are related to similar questions, I'll just share the video with them, and then we will all save time. That's how come I started this channel. And also, I love to help people originally, and so once my videos are already helping people, then I decided that okay, let's continue to help people. And the journey is very long, like from step one, step two, and step three, residency, and life after that. After residency, what we are going to do, I think all of them is going to be on this channel to help people. Let's see. Then there's another question here. Yeah, is Anki necessary from the beginning or in the last couple of months only? If you have time from the beginning is best, so that it will shorten your length of studies. You don't want to finish studying first pass of UWorld and missing them again before you do your flashcards for it. So if you have time and you develop the habit of doing flashcards, and the flashcards are helping you improve your scores, then why don't you continue it? Because eventually, whatever you want from the Anki for space repetition, if you start it early, the better for you. Those who started earlier score higher. Fact. Those who start Anki flashcard earlier score higher, and they are likely to improve in their scores faster due to space repetition. Mostly when we are doing Nbme questions, what happens is you narrow down to two options, and now those two options are all the answer. They are all the answer in a way, in the sense that per if you take away something from the question, any of them could be right. But there is one thing in the question that makes one right and one wrong. So if you do an Anki flashcards for most of the things that you are left with two options, your scores are likely to improve faster. That is what I do. That is where what we call the differential diagnosis. So that if you have differential diagnosis, how would you rule in or how would you rule out? Do flashcards for any time you are left with two options. And in the flashcard, you can put the reason why the other one is not the answer. And that should help you. Yes. So you said the problem is time, actually, because I study USMLE with college. Yeah. So the problem is time. I mean, if you are, I don't know when you plan to take the exam. Do you plan to take it whilst in college, or like you are just studying for it now and in college, whilst when you get to, okay, let's say I only have a little time for USMLE studying. Yes, so you have a little time. I'll still advise you to do Anki flashcards and try to make at least like 2 hours for Anki flashcards every day for the sake of space repetition. There is a general consensus that it's better to know what you know very well than to add new concepts that you don't know very well. Because anything that you don't know very well, you are likely to miss it on the exam. Anything that you don't know very well, you are likely to miss on the exam, likely, because the examiners want you to miss it. So they add other things. Sometimes the demographics alone changes the diagnosis. Sometimes the, let's say, where the like other conditions the patient has, sometimes the drugs the patient is on changes everything. Sometimes the time that the patient had the condition changes everything. So I would suggest that you do the flashcards of the things that you find difficulty differentiating, so that you don't miss them the next time. So you say you have, "Oh, I want to take it in a year." Yeah, so I think you have a lot of time. If you want to take it in a year, you have a lot of time. What I'll advise you is that if you're doing your flashcards, when you get to 6 months, when you do your flashcards for maybe every 4 months, you want to create a new deck, because you don't want the old ones that you've gotten hold of or you're getting hang of it. Like, you don't want them to mix with the new ones too much. So if I were you, I'll divide them into 2 or 3 flashcard decks. And so if you graduate from one for the first 6 months, you can start another flashcard deck for the next 6 months, so that by 6 months you would have known a lot of most of the things from the old one. And when you're getting close to your exam, like the final 2 months, you can do both of them. Yes. I hope that answers your question. Most important thing to do is knowing very well what you know than to add new information that you're not familiar with. Yes. Robin Hood. Um, let's put Robin Hood up here. Yes. Hi, bro. A quick question regarding step two. How long did it take you to get through UWorld first round? How many questions were you doing in a day? It took me about 3 to 4 months to finish the first round of UWorld. I was doing 120 questions, and I was taking notes. If What I could have done differently is that if I was using my flashcard method that I discovered later, if I was doing that earlier, then I wouldn't spend time writing out all these notes. Y'all can see, there's no need to do all these things. Don't write notes, okay? You are just repeating whatever is in the U world. Like, let me see. Don't write notes, okay? Yeah. So when I started this, what I was doing, I thought that if I thought that if I write notes, I'll come back to it. And these are very high yield notes, very extremely high yield notes. But I wouldn't get time to come back and read the notes. And I cannot carry these notes with me anywhere I'm going. If I'm going to the park to walk, I cannot carry these notes, you know? So there's someone on the line. Give me a minute to add you in. Original gangster. Okay. Yeah. So I might say that doing the flashcard shortened my time of prep. And then the second pass of U World, although I didn't finish it, but I think within 1 month, within 3 weeks, I had done 45% of it. Let's allow original gangster in. Yeah, hi bro.
Hello.
Hi bro.
Hey.
How are
How
you
are you
doing?
doing?
Yeah, good. How are you?
Good. I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm good. What about you?
Yeah, I'm doing okay here. I'm just hanging in here and trying to interact with everybody.
Yeah, good.
Yeah,
So I wanted to tell you a problem I'm facing with Usmle studying.
yes.
Uh, is actually I'm in the third year in medical school, and the time I have is really not a lot in the day. Only
Yes.
about a couple of hours, like 2 or 3 or something. So I wanted to finish studying step one in 1 year,
Mm-hmm.
and يعني, to be ready in only 1 year and examine in 1 year.
Okay.
So I have to read really fast, but I don't really memorize the things very well because I don't give it a lot of time. I need a lot of
Right.
time to remember things.
Correct.
So that's my problem actually. I don't have the technique to remember things fast.
Yes. Yes. So it is normal. It is normal
Mm,
to take time to think about questions before you get the answer. It is normal for all of us when we were going into the like starting our prep. It was normal. You
mm,
learn today, you forget tomorrow. It is normal with everybody. Only some
mm,
geniuses maybe don't have that problem. But for most, I'm an
yeah,
example. If even if you tell me your name right now and you turn back 10 minutes, come and ask me your name, I'm going to forget. It's normal.
yeah,
Okay. Yes.
okay,
So what all these resources are doing is to help you to remember this information in a split second. Right.
yeah, mm,
Tell me, if I present a material to you and let's
mm,
say, let's say I'm asking you about, if I tell you, for example, that thrombocytopenia, okay,
mm,
it's in
mm,
SLE, right? And
mm,
you've seen it once versus you have seen it maybe 10 times in a week. Which
mm.
one are you likely to remember? When are you likely
Of
to remember
course,
it?
the one I did it 10 times.
Exactly. So that is all
Yeah,
about the exam. If you read anything and then you leave it for 3 months, you are likely to forget it. So you need to find a
yeah,
way for spaced repetition, which is the Anki
yeah.
flashcards.
That's right.
The Anki flashcards.
Yeah.
And make
Uh-huh.
sure you discipline yourself to do flashcards almost every day. Don't go 3 days without doing Anki flashcards.
Yeah, yeah. So reading only isn't enough. Yeah,
It's
even
not
for
enough.
the first read. Yeah, my plan was to firstly read it really fast. Then in the second read, I would combine U World with the second read. This was
Okay.
my plan actually, so I can finish really fast. I wanted to finish the first read really fast as I could. So I
What?
don't really revise a lot or do your work at all because I wanted to finish it really fast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So what would be the point in reading fast and you don't remember anything? Say you are sent to a room, right, to go and pick maybe
Mm,
two bottles or 10 bottles, and then you tell yourself,
yeah,
okay, let me go to the room and scan the room real quick and come out and go again and pick the bottles. Like, what? Why did you
yeah,
go the
yeah.
first time?
Uh,
Once
I
you go,
actually
yeah.
depend on some mnemonics. I dropped some mnemonics and I read it. And the first time I read, I drop some mnemonics in the hope I can remember it. remember it the second time I read. I can remember it fast. You know what I'm saying? So I don't
Yes,
read only. Write some mnemonics to help me remember it.
yes, yes.
Is it enough, or don't do anything?
Yeah, I mean, it's better than doing nothing, but
Yeah.
there's something that I feel is also better than that.
Mm,
Start U world questions as soon as possible.
yeah.
Start U world questions
Mm,
and let the U world questions direct you to the book. Okay. If you want to start with any system, pick the system and do U world questions of that system whilst you read the first aid. But when you want to read the first aid, I advise people don't read the first aid alone. Bots and
yeah.
Beyond has done a very good job in explaining the first aid. So you better go
Yeah.
with him. So you open your book, okay? You open your book and then be watching
Yeah.
his video and be looking through the book at the same time. So he is reading for you and explaining to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, after that, if you go and do U world questions and you miss it, you will come to the book and pay attention to what U world is asking and
Mm,
capture if there's a mnemonic under that thing you missed, capture it into your flashcard. Capture the mnemonic
yeah.
into your flashcard because there are over 500 mnemonics in this book. You
Yeah.
need
Yeah. I know.
you need to know at least 300 of them.
Mm,
You understand? You need to have at least
uh,
300 of them, which
that's
you
right.
might not
Yeah.
know everything, but if you see them in your flashcard every day, it's gonna
Mm.
stick. The mnemonic will stick.
Yeah, but I don't actually have time to make decks myself. So, is there really decks I can go along and
It's very easy to make decks. I know people think that it's hard to make decks. I've made a video on it. Okay, I've made a video on how to make flashcards. It's in my YouTube channel. Okay,
yeah, I'm
you don't
back.
you don't need even 3 minutes to make a deck. Like you just take a photo of the URL
Yeah,
of that page straight and you are
yeah,
done. The next time you
mm,
see it is when you are doing it. So check out
mm,
that video and you realize that even writing out notes waste time.
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
What about you world? How long does it take actually? I used to take a lot of time when I tried to do some questions on you world. It took me like 2 3 hours for about 10 questions or something. I was so slow. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Yes.
Because I'm not really used to its questions yet, yeah. So I don't have the time to do UWorld. You know what I'm saying? Because I have the college, the other things. My days kind of busy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand you. Yes.
Yeah,
So maybe some people can do 3 blocks a day, some can do two, someone can also do half
yeah.
a block. If you can do one
It's a
block,
skill. It's a
yeah, it comes with time. No, you are
yeah,
good.
yeah.
Go ahead.
But it takes time till I get used to it. But actually, the time I need to get used to it isn't with me now. Yeah, or I will not progress in first aid really in an adequate amount to reach my goal is to finish U World and be ready in 1 year. You know what I'm saying? It's
Look,
gonna make me take much longer to be ready for the exam. If I combine U World with first aid with my current status, I with my current speed in doing the questions.
if
You
I may,
understand what I'm saying?
yeah, how many blocks of UWorld can you do with your current schedule?
Yeah, actually, I can do maximum. I can do half a block.
Half a block. which is
Yeah.
perfect for now.
Yeah.
Just
Thank you.
just take it that way and be consistent.
Mm.
But make sure that any information that you get from those 20 questions, you
I write
capture
it down.
them. No, don't write. Anki flashcards.
Yeah.
Watch my Anki flashcards. Writing takes forever to make notes. It takes forever. With the
Yeah.
Anki flashcards, you are just capturing the screen into your flashcard. So it saves you
Yeah.
time. You get it?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah. I get it. I get it. Yeah.
if you can do those flashcards, and
Mm.
so you know the information, the next time you see them in future, you know them already. It saves you time.
Yeah.
Understand? So even
Yeah. I
if you do
understand.
questions, there is no problem whether you still have 1 year.
Mm.
Okay. If UWorld has 4,000 questions, let me
Mm.
calculate for you. UWorld has 4,000. And so 4,000 questions divided by 20, you need is it 200 days?
Yeah.
200 days to finish it, right? And in 200 days, we have, um, let me see, 30 days. Let's divide this by 30 days by months, right? 30
Yeah.
days, divide by 30. You need 6 months to finish it if you do 20.
Yeah.
Okay, if you do
To finish
20,
all the questions in you
yeah.
will.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you do 20 a day,
Yeah.
6 months, you will finish.
Yeah.
But this is
That's
six
good.
months of quality studies.
Mm.
6 months of quality studies. There may be some days you cannot study, understandable. seven
Yeah.
months,
Yeah.
8. That is why some people do one pass of UWorld and still score high because they are able to extract all the information from the questions and do flashcards
Yeah. Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
So,
Uh,
yes. So,
yeah.
you,
This.
yeah,
It's actually good because I wasn't thinking about UWorld or flashcards. I only read, but I felt that I'm reading only and I'm not really getting much information there. So
yeah,
I thought about asking you about that, yeah, to understand more about that.
correct. It's good to have you. It's good to
Yeah,
speak with
thank
you.
you.
Yeah. If you can put
Thank you.
this, yeah, into practice, it would work for you. Okay.
Yeah,
It's work.
yeah,
It's work
thank you.
for a lot of people, even me. You're welcome.
Yeah, yeah,
You're
thank you.
welcome.
Thank you for the good advice. Thank you.
You're welcome. And I'm always here. You can email me if you start and then you need more input. You get my email from my channel. Go to About on your computer, About tab, and then you see my information there. Okay?
Yeah, appreciate it. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Let's pick
Thank you.
other questions. You're welcome. Good luck in your
Okay.
prep. Robin Hood, did we answer a question already? Yes, we did, I think. Um, Somebody's asking, did I get any interviews already? No, at this point, let me say no, I've not. So the programs that emailed me, I got one from New York, and then they wanted me to write back to them like the specific reason why I chose their program. So with that, I know I've not been filtered out there. They've seen my application. Then I have like 6 others who are telling me they'll send out their application, their interviews in I think in October, like October second week going. So yeah, I've not concretely had any interview yet. I only applied to internal medicine. I did not apply to family or any other thing, only internal medicine. So I'm waiting to see what comes out. But I'm not bent on like matching this season. Anything that comes out is good. I wish I could match, but if I don't match, I'll go in stronger next year. Yeah. Let's answer the next question. Um, okay, let's answer Robin Hood. Okay, did you do that for step two? So like 3 to 4 months for first round of step two U World. Yes, yeah. Step two. This is what I'm talking about. And step two, it was 3 to 4 months for the first pass, and I said I was again taking notes. That's when I really realized that note taking is not the best. Yes, I did notes. And then when I got to after this 4 months, I realized that I had not had time to read anything from these notes. And now we had only 2 months to write our exams. So I had to find a way to be able to get this information that I couldn't read into my mind, and also be able to do my dedicated within that same 2 months. So I mean, me and my study partner. So I did my incorrect questions, which most of them are here because most of my notes are incorrect questions. So I did my incorrect questions on UWorld, and when I realized that I started missing questions that I thought I shouldn't miss again because I didn't review them. I put them into my Anki flashcards immediately, and that 2 months until I took my exam, I was doing Anki flashcards almost every day. So that really helped me to remember a lot of concepts, and it was helpful. So that was a quick fix to me still performing poor in my on my incorrect especially. And for my second pass, it was like, even though I wasn't getting 90s, it was 80, and sometimes I'll come into 70. But I realized that most of the things that are on my flashcards, I could just remember them like straight away. When I'm doing the question, I remember, oh, this is in my flashcard. Then I pick the answer and move on. This is in my flashcard. I pick the answer and move on. It was kind of like that for me. I hope I answered that question. Let's go to uh, Kisom. Kisom, let's answer your question. Let's see. The trend on using pre-made deck is making us feel it's too difficult. Yes, yes, it's true. Um, People should stop the pre-made deck. Like, it's just my own opinion. I advise people to make their own decks based on their weak areas, because everybody has a weak area. Pre-made deck has every information on it. Say, if you take Zanki, Zanki is still asking like very simple questions, like um, what type of vitamin is this? Like, just basic concepts that people know already. And you might know them already, so you don't want that to occupy your time. You only have few hours to do flashcards in a day. So those flashcards should be treated as very high yield, and it should be treated seriously. So for me, I would say do your personal flashcards. If you don't know how to do it very fast, I have a video on it on my channel, how to make Anki flashcards, or is it how to use Anki flashcards. And if you do that, it would really help. Okay, it would really help you. um let's see. Writing notes. Writing notes, believe me, you believe takes more time, and you most likely will not get back to review them. That is correct. That is correct. It's waste of time, and I feel like you are reproducing the information again, reproducing the information, and even taking time to color them. This all takes time. It's it all takes time. So writing notes takes a lot of time. You are likely not to come back to review them. Let's see your next thing. It says, this is my opinion. Perfect. That is my opinion as well. Some people have done well with pre-made decks too, and it worked. Yes, pre-made decks have also worked, but why I say people should do their own deck is that a lot of people complain that they don't have time, and you are not going to, if you don't have time, you have 3, 4, 5 months to study, you are not going to carry a pre-made deck of 20,000 cards to do. Like, you also need time to do UWorld, you need time to also do other resources. So doing your own cards from your own studies is also helpful. Let's see next. um, Ali, what should I do for my USMLE journey being a first year med student from Pakistan? Yes, yes. This is what I wish. I did. Like, I wish I knew that I was going to write a USMLE from my first year. I had no idea that I was ever going to sit for the USMLE. And so I didn't plan for it from the beginning of my med school. I started planning for rate. I started conscientizing myself when I was in the fourth year, and I didn't start studying at that time. I needed to put things in place and even work towards migrating to the US. So that was my main focus then. And then when I after graduation, I started studying for the US family. So um first year is usually like we don't study too much in relation to the USMLE. Different schools have different things that they teach, and so I would say that you can be relaxed, like relax a little bit until you start studying things that are related to USMLE, so that both can benefit you. But if you want to be pragmatic, then you want to just study as though you are in second year already and you have your knowledge base is low. Treat yourself like, okay, I'm already in second year and my knowledge base is low, so I'm going to do U World First Aid Pathoma from beginning and start doing U World questions offline and find answers from first aid and boss and beyond videos. They're all offline. You can start that immediately, and I know you will do great. I think you are one of the people who are going to score the 270s because you started so early, and so you should be good. Congratulations for making this decision when you're in first year as an IMG. Yeah, I hope I answered your question, Ali. If you are just now joining us, I have a link here in the. I'm going to put a link if you want to join the chat room live. You can join. Just click on the link, and I will add you to it. I'll let you into the chat room, and we can hear. You can use voice, audio, or you can use video to join us. We are just talking about the USMLE, step one, step two, and any questions you have, you can ask. I hope I have not skipped anybody's questions. And if you have any ideas that you want to share with us, please come on board and share with us. I don't want to be the only person like giving out my information. I would also love to learn from you guys, like what is working for you, so that I can share with other people too. Um, okay. Okay, let's see this question here. Mahala. Okay. Can you tell us about your exam? Too is it too what hardest than UWorld and NBME, or just like them in terms of difficulty? Okay, so my exam in terms of difficulty, my exam, when you look at a block, like when I open each question, they look most like UWorld. I know people say that the questions are super, super long. There were few questions that were super long, where like if this is the computer screen, they divide the screen into two. Sorry, they divide the screen into two, and then there are questions full of this side and there are questions full of this side. So it's like questions term is super long here, super long, and you need to scroll up to see the rest of the questions. So there are questions like that which are longer than UWorld, like they cover both screen. You need time to read them as well. So first advice, don't waste time on any question in the exam. Do not waste time. If you know the answer, click and go. If you don't know it, click and go. Don't waste time, because you're not going to get enough time for the longer questions, which may have simple answers. So I would say my questions look just like UWorld. Difficulty wise, I would say 50% of my questions, UWorld was like enough to answer 50% of my questions. They look just like UWorld. They are like click and go questions. They ask you, they give you, let's say, I'm not trying to disclose anything, but they give you, let's say, an image, and let's say the treatment is, say, example, the treatment is metoprolol. Just click and go. You understand? Like they give you an image and you diagnose and they say what's the treatment. You just click on, just choose something like MI, and then you move forward. Like you just choose something like nitrates, then you move forward. So some of them are kind of straightforward. They were just straightforward. So if you do your flashcards well and then you have the information right in your brain, as soon as you see the question, you pick and go. Like if you give me an EKG of MI and you ask me what is the diagnosis, I'm not going to read the question because I've seen the EKG, I can know it is MI, and I've seen what is the diagnosis. I'm going to click MI without any doubt, but I'll mark the question because I didn't read everything. So I'll choose my answer, mark the question, and move on. So some of them were like straight to the point, like just pick and go if you trust your instincts. Now, the rest 30% of the questions were like Nbme, short, short, like 3 lines, pick your answer and go, like that. Then some were also like Nbme difficulty level where they were a little bit hard and a little vague, but yes, they are doable. Now, the rest of the 20% questions, 10% I would say are from ethics, quality improvement, and patient safety. So with that, when I did my ambos, when I did ambos like a week or two before sitting for the exam, I feel like that really helped me to save time because if I see a quality improvement question, I'm not wasting time. Some of them, they are just asking about the topic for the quality improvement. Say you are treating something like heart failure, and then we have different subheadings under it. But what if the answer is heart failure? Just pick and go. You don't even worry so much about the details. So somewhere like that. So I'll say doing that part of Amber saved me for most of the 10% of patient safety, quality improvement, and ethics. Now, the last 10% were vague. There are things that I've never met before. Never met before. My strategy for that was I eliminate the rest and pick whatever is left without thinking about, okay, what if it's wrong? I don't know it. What if it's wrong? I just make sure that I have something in the question that can eliminate the rest, and whatever is left, just pick it and go. Anyway, I'll miss it anyway. You know, I'm gonna miss it anyway. So why don't I just go with my best tricks and pick something and move on? So this is how the difficulty was. It was combined difficulty, UWorld level difficulty, Nbme level difficulty, and the vague ones where maybe you've never met them before. And I want you all to really prep well. I want you all to really prep well. Don't go trying. I know few people who have tried, even have tried twice because they don't have they don't have enough prep time. Take your time. It's better to pass than to rush. Yeah, take your time. Next one is, it says, but I feel I'm weak in concept. Yeah, you said you are weak in concept. I mean, Ali, you just said you are in first year. You are in first year, so those concepts come with time. It comes with time. Take your time and understand them. You being from Pakistan, I'm going to suggest Dr. Najib videos for you to build your concepts. Have time for Dr. Najib videos to build your concepts. When I was in med school, I used Dr. Najib to build most of my concept because the lectures were not enough for me. The lectures, they just come and project things on the board and they read for you, and they don't give you reasons to understand it. So Dr. Najib videos really help me to build concepts. So if you want concepts, Dr. Najib is good for your first year. Very, very good for your first year. Then second year or end of your first year, you can do um, you can start a USMLE as well, or you do both alongside. Let's see. I'm struggling in first year, even using short books, and local and Indian books to clear my med school assessment. So any disadvantage of using short books in USMLE, I need right guidance. I don't know what you mean by short books, but is it like the things have been summarized? Um, the best thing to do for yourself is to be able to put together concepts, like to understand what is happening, so that even if they change the answer, you can still get it correct. Because recently, step one is moving towards more of experimental questions, where they'll tell you maybe a researcher is doing something, they are describing the thing to you. So if you don't know that concept, you are likely to miss it. Okay, so I would say watch lecture videos to decode information. If you talk about short books like handbooks, yeah, I don't know what you mean by short books, but if it's handbooks are usually not enough. They are also just like first aid. They compact the most high yield information, but you want to be able to understand the information. So Dr. Najib is very good. If you think there's any topics that you are not good at, if it's biochemistry, excellent resource is Dr. Najib. That's what I used. I used Dr. Najib, and then I also learned from first aid and you world. But Dr. Najib was the one who gave me that baseline knowledge in my med school. Physio, farm, Dr. Najib will build your basics very well before you come to the difficult concepts. I hope I answered that question. Um, let's look at let's look at Robin Hood. Robin Hood, what did you think was your hardest subject to learn? To learn was Yeah, for step two, my hardest subject to learn from step two. Then the rest of the thing is, I think my personal weakness are micro, MSK, repro. Also, was there a lot of biostats on step two? I'm not supposed to disclose anything, but generally people say biostat. There's not a lot of biostat on step two, not a lot. If I had to do it again, I would not waste time on biostats. Um, so let's see. Not a lot of biostat. Maybe like one or two questions. Yeah, one or two questions for me. Um, let's see. Let's see. Your first part, and what I think was hard for me on step two. So most of the concepts just came right away, because in step one, repro was one of my weak areas, but for some reason, it just made sense on step two. It just made sense, for step two. Um, Let me see what I struggled with in step two. Peds, peds. Yeah, pediatrics was that thing that during step one, because I didn't do a lot of flashcards, I was so weak, because in peds they want associations. If a child has this, then he must have this also. If you know Peds was just weak for me. It was just weak even on step two. But one thing that I did was I did a lot of CMS forms on peds, like all the topics that I struggled with. I made sure I do their CMS forms before doing the Nbme, so it helped a little bit. But PEDS was kind of hard for me. But when I got my score back on step two, like all my areas were all the same. There was no variation like this is low, this is high. Everything was in the middle, like same throughout. Yeah, everything was same throughout. So yes, I don't know if I can share this, but without sharing my USMLE ID. But yes, everything was same throughout for me. Let me see if I can show you guys. Um, Files, score report. Okay, yes. So I would say everything was same for me. Let me see. So if anyone has any other question, we are here to answer. Yeah, by yes. Yes, and then if you can also join us with the link here. If you have anything, we can hear your voice live. So I need to add. I don't know how to do this. Slide video file. I don't know how to add this, but I'll try to see if I can get it add from your computer. Yeah, I'm not. Let me see. Yeah, I'm not able to add the photo, but I was gonna show you all like how it looked like. They said I can only add PDF. So with the PDF, I'm going to show my. What is this PDF? Sorry, this is not what I intended to show. Remove from. Yeah, this is not intended to show. But yeah, so everything was same for me. So at the end, I was able to work on all my um I was able to work on all my weak areas to get them on the same level. And let's see, what did Ali say? Cell no. My cell phone number. Um, if you don't mind, my cell phone number, I can put it out here. But you can only get me on WhatsApp. Okay, you leave message for me is best. Please do not call. It wouldn't come through. 325. Let's see. Yeah, you can reach me there by text. Yeah. Yeah, so if you are just joining us, we are discussing the USMLE. We've done 1 hour 30 minutes. This is not bad. It's been an interesting. We've done 1 hour 24 minutes. This has been an interesting conversation, and I hope somebody learned from this today. And if there's no other questions, we can call it a day. Does anyone have any other questions? And I just want you all to know that this whole thing is doable. And a lot of people say different things about this exam, like it's hard, it's not doable. Yes, there are. If you take the wrong strategies, you are not going to do well. If you apply the wrong strategies, if you're not consistent, if you don't study, if you don't know the materials, and it doesn't take only geniuses to do well. I know only geniuses can get the 280s and 270s. As for them, like my hands are up for them. Those who get 270s, my hands are up for them. But not everybody should get 270 in order to march into residency. And you know, at the end, if we all march into residency and someone comes with a very high score and we all get the same program, like the salaries might be the same, our opportunities to work in different hospitals might be the same at the end. So there's no really point of um, I mean, you have to work hard, but there's no point in not trying the exam because you are looking at people who have overperformed and then you think you cannot be like them. Um, so let's see this one. Yeah, did you get to do CMS forms for all topics? Where do you access them? So with the CMS forms, they are there. They are in the nbme.org, my nbme.org, and let me see if I can share something here with you. Um, where to find it? Present screen. I'm not sure. To monitor screen sharing workspace with a good computer. I'm going to try to see. I'm going to try to see if you can see me. Good. Um, okay, let's see this. Let's see if you can see this. So let's go to nbme.org and see. I'm not here. I shouldn't be here. I'm not saved here. No, sorry. Sorry. So I need to share another screen with you. Entire screen share window. Okay, let's see. So I'm gonna share my screen with you and show you where the CMS forms are. Okay, hopefully that helps you. I need this one. I'm not sure if you can see. I'll just put a link up there for you to see. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, let's go to Safari. Good. Let's see if it works. It's not working. I'm sorry, but I can put a link out there for you to see, so I can put a link out there for you. Okay. Um, so you go to my nbme.org and just like you are going to buy, go to my NBME portal, you log in. There we go. And exams. Okay, here. Good. So it is, you are looking for comprehensive, you are looking for self-assessment for subjects or clinical sciences. I think that is it. But I can put a link here and then you can use the link. Control R. I'm gonna share the link with you, copy. Good. And then with this link, you can get the CMS forms. Here we go. I have the link over there for the CMS forms. You can get them subject wise. Let's see, we have another question. Let's see, I'm about to start my step one prep. How should I start? How should you start with step one prep? There's a lot of videos on this in my channel. How you should start it. Just start straight away with UWorld, first aid, pathoma, and make a schedule in so that when you wake up a day, you do some UWorld questions. You do about 40 UWorld questions. You can start with 20 slowly, and then after that, you do boss and beyond with the first aid. Okay, so if you're spending the first 4 hours with 20 questions, which is normal, 4 hours with 20 questions is normal, because you're going to be referring to the book and using Wikipedia and all like videos to search for answers to understand the concept. um and Yes, and then also what you can do is you want to also use the B&B to read the first aid, and towards the evening when you are going to sleep, try to also do another block, and make time for some flashcards. And this is basically how we start it, and it comes with time. Okay, you'll get that, you'll get that flair with time. Okay, let's see. Next one says, okay, let's see who is this. Asadi Mohammed. How to pass NBME easily. This is a very big question. How to pass NBME easily? Um, wow, how to pass easily? The easiest way to pass is to study, and because you have to understand the UWorld concepts and carry them over to NBME. Okay, so the easiest way is to study the UWorld very well and then carry that knowledge over to NBME. That is the easiest way to pass the NBME. Okay, and then when you're doing NBME, I know people panic when they're doing NBME. You need to relax. Just treat it like you're doing UWorld, like that. Okay, don't panic. Okay, so I have the link over there if you want the CMS forms. They are there. Yeah, you are welcome, Robin Hood. Let's see, this might be our last. Okay. Thanks very much, Mahala, yeah, for your time. You are welcome. Thank you all for your time, and I hope nobody has any other questions. And I will meet again. So tomorrow, not tonight at 8 p.m. my time. That's the central time. I'm coming up with high yield concepts on cardiology for first aid. I'll give you some pointers on cardiology from the first aid, like what you should study and how you should study it, to make your studies progress faster. So if you want to just look at the link over there, I have the link on my page. If you want to look at it, you can go to the community on my page and just click on the notification, and you will be notified when the time is due. Okay. Yes, so that is what I want to do now. Like, I want to a lot of people want me to do review with them, but I want to start with cardio where we'll discuss the high yield concept and how you should approach it. I'm not going to spend too much time explaining it because all the resources out there explain it already, but I just want to point out certain things that you should pay attention to when you are studying, and so that makes your studies easier. I hope that helps somebody. And then you can also share the link to invite more people on board. You check my channel page on YouTube, you will go to community, you'll find it there. And also, if you just subscribe to the channel, once we start, you'll be notified. Thanks very much for joining me today. And if it's night, anywhere you are, good night. And all those also is daytime, they can have a good day. And I'll see you again. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. I really appreciate your time too. Thanks, and bye. We'll see you again.